Welcome to the Offshore Club's fun-filled, fact-filled, fast-paced, blockbuster podcast, Coffee with Carib Carter, coming to you exclusively from where the sun never sets on the good life at a great price. And now, fill up your favorite coffee mug and join your expert and your guide, Carib Carter Clues.
Hello. This is Carib Carter, and welcome to episode 55 of Coffee with Carib Carter. Coffee with Carib Carter. Now, let's do this thing. I hope you got your coffee. Great visit today. We're going to have a great visit today. As I always tell you, this is absolutely one of the high points of my week when we get a chance to get together. And today's podcast, I think, what's coming up could well be the best we've ever done. Okay. Could well be the best time we've ever had together. We have a tremendous You Are There segment. It's an interview with a very ebullient, lively individual by the name of Dusty Tubbs. Okay. Dusty Tubbs. Dusty is in Panama. When I asked him, this will give you some idea of the how lively and enjoyable Dusty is. When I asked him, where exactly he lived in Panama, here, short and sweet, is the message I got back. Carol and I live in Chitre, in the heart of Panama! ! Chitre is located in the Azurero. How's that? My Spanish is terrible. It's hard to believe I have a Honduran wife. Azurero Peninsula. It is everything Panamanian, nothing Americano. We love it, with several exclamation marks. So that's what you have to look forward to a little later in the program, a little later in the show when we talk with Dusty Tubbs. Then I'm going to take you through the magic of Vivian. You know how much I love Vivian. I talked to you about it. 55 weeks of it. We've talked about it, at least 45 of them. To what I consider one of the coziest and the most enticing cottages that we have ever virtually visited. Okay. And it is in what regular Carib Carter cadre viewers know is one of my favorite Latin American countries, Uruguay. Now, of course, I admit I'm a bit biased because some of you already know this. We've talked about it before. This is not our first visit to Uruguay. But I'm a little biased because Uruguay is as much Italiano as it is Latino. Okay. Tremendous Italian influence. And my mother's maiden name was Marciano. What does that tell you? Born in Reggio Calabria, one of the Terraduros, okay, one of the hard heads. And she was, by the way, maybe that's where I get it. But Uruguay is tremendous Italian influence. So for me, it's the best of both worlds. I get it was settled by my mother's Goombas, and it is inhabited by my Honduran wife's amigos, right? So it is Europe. Look at that. Yes, that is. Yes. Believe it or not, that is Uruguay. Don't know what the world is coming to. When in Rome or Montevideo, do what the Romans do. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So we're going to go there. I'm going to show you a cottage. Obviously, that's not one of them. By the beach that I think you're going to fall in love with. Okay. So that's for our $1,000 listing Caribbean segment coming up. First, You Are There segment. As you know, every week now we talk to somebody who lives in one of the countries, up front, live and in person, up close and personal. That's Dusty. Then we $1,000 listing Caribbean. We're heading to Uruguay. Then we're going to finish up, of course, with a Carib Carter motivational minute that I think you're just going to love. It really is. It's one of my favorites, and it's all about how never giving up can help you make your dreams come true by moving offshore. Okay, by moving offshore. Now, But before we get to all that, first I want to say today I am not doing a Mad Max moment. Okay. Those of you who are regular viewers know Mad Max is when I tell you why you need to get out of the U.S. and do it now. But I'm not doing one today. I am not doing one today. I will, however, say this. Okay. Those who follow me on social media, and I hope you do, every day I post a Carib Carter minute, every day. Okay. Usually about 3 or 4 minutes each post. And this past week, I have really, I'm just going to admit to you, I have been a little Mad Max, okay, because of what's going on in this country and being done to good, decent folks like our 100,000 plus Offshore Club members, okay? Okay. But we're not doing Mad Max today. I covered the inflation topic in several of the Mad Max minutes on my social media post this past week. But so all I'm going to say, I can't help myself. All I'm going to say is, look, several states now are saying, well, we're urging the federal government to reduce because of the doubling of the gas prices. We're encouraging the federal government to cut the gas tax temporarily. And some of our states, we may do it. It ain't going to happen. That's disingenuous, okay? Otherwise known as a lie. It's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. So what does that mean for you? I'm not doing a Mad Maximal, but I will say this. Because of what's been done over the past year in ending our energy independence by the president with the stroke of a pen, that's not political. It's just, January 27th, 2022. Done. Gas has increased by an average. It's almost $5 average across the country now, which means you, if you're an average driver in America, you will now pay $2,000 a year more for your gasoline for the average driver. Just ask yourself, can you afford that? Can you afford that? I can't, especially when real spendable wages over the past year have dropped 1.9% with inflation at 7.5%. That they admit to, inflation's really around 15. So, but no Mad Max. I just want to share that with you. Now, let's get back to Happy Talks. Matter of fact, you know what? Just to show you I'm really committed to Happy Talk today. There you go. There you go. I got my Carib Carter happy hat on. Matter of fact, I'm also wearing, you can't see it. Let me see there you go. The parrot, the happy parrot. My wife brought the shirt to me from Honduras. So we're going to stick with Happy Talk today. Ta-da, ta-da. And we're going to start with the ebullient, I love that word, the ebullient interview with Dusty Tubbs. Okay, you're gonna like this guy. He has his own newsletter, and so you see, I'm gonna ask him to let you know how you can subscribe to it. It's a good newsletter. It's a good newsletter that he puts out, and he does some work with Grand Pacific and the ECI development, which is fantastic because that's the Mike Cobb communities that we talk about. The creme de la creme with all the amenities communities throughout Central America. Okay. So Dusty well, instead of telling you about him, why don't I just talk to him so you can enjoy him for yourself. Dusty, welcome. Dusty Tubbs, welcome to Coffee with Carib Carter.
Thanks. Good to be here, but you forgot to pour me a cup there, Carter. Where's my cup?
I should have sent it down. Next time I will have your cup there for you. So right. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. We got to talk briefly last week off camera, and I've already told the people this is one of the most ebullient and delightful people that we'll ever interview. So it's great to have you here. Thank you very much.
It's an honor to be here with you.
So I already told him you're in. I probably mispronounced it. Chitre. Is that close?
Chitre, yes.
Chitre, Panama. Tell us, before you tell us a little bit about Chitre, tell us how you got there, because you are from Canada, I believe, right?
No.
No.
Carolyn and I are both fourth generation native Californians. I like to tell people I'm very proud to be from California, far from California. So it's good to be here and be away from the crazies. But to make my first million, I joined the Navy and I went off. And after 30 years, they sent me back home and said I had to quit. And I said I didn't want to. So then I became a professor of computer technology for a while. And when our chancellor decided that the school funds were better spent on his family and his house than on the school, I thought it would probably behoove me to find something else to do. So I went to work for a big box store. I opened up a store in Ventura, went down, opened up another store in Aliso Viejo. And then they transferred me to Kona, Hawaii. And after about 10 years over there, it was time for me to use my brain instead of my brawn. My wife was being hassled by her ex. So we said, I can come up with a plan, because all she wanted to do was get him out of her life. And I said, I got a plan. I know how to do that. So we came to Panama. So
now, how long ago was that? How long ago?
Well, that trip was roughly 10 years ago. Started planning on it 11, 12 years ago, trying to figure out what and how to do. But we've been living down here full time now, coming up on 9 years.
Great. So, first of all, I can understand getting out of California. Some of these places in the U.S. now, I think it was the Matt Davis song, Lubbock in my rearview mirror, right? Talking about sometimes some of these places you want to see in your rearview mirror, especially when out the front windshield is a gorgeous place like Panama. So tell us, what is Chitre like? What you found when you got there? What's it like? The people, the works?
Well, to start with, you have to understand I'm a country boy. Even though I come from California, I'm a country boy. So when people say they want to move to Mayberry RFD, no, you don't. I grew up in Mayberry RFD. I grew up in the bottom of the Sacramento Valley, so it was a half hour to get into town. Our nearest neighbor was a quarter of a mile away. So yeah, that was Mayberry RFD, very relaxed. I mean, I could play outside all night long. Nobody cared, didn't bother anybody. It was safe. It was also hot, bottom of the Sacramento Valley, very, very hot.
Right.
So it was, but growing up on a farm and growing up in rural area, I don't like the city crowds, the city noise, and all of that. So when we came here, my Panama lawyer said, "Oh, so we can help you find a place in the city." I went, "Oh, no, not that. Nope." Okay, well, Coronado is very popular with the expats. Yes, it is. No, I'm not looking for little America. I could stay in America if I wanted that. So we looked around, we didn't find anything. And on that discovery trip, we were sitting in the lawyer's office, and she said, "So did you go to Cubita? Is that in Panama? What is that? Where is it? I've never heard of it." So Cubita was a development that's here in Chitre. So after we got back to Hawaii, I did some online research and discussion. We had to come back to finalize our residency, get our permanent residency cedula here. So when we came back in March, made it back out here, talked to the developer, and everything else after that was history. So it's not part of an American community. When people said, "Oh, well, do you live in an expat community?" We do. "Oh, so how many Americans live there with you?" None. "But you live in an expat community?" No. Yes, but we don't live in an American expat community. I've got a Venezuelan that lives across the street from me. I had a Colombian that used to live 2 doors down. We've got a half a dozen Chinese that live here. There was a Swiss couple. There was a Canadian family. So,
Wow.
yeah, they're all expats. Nicaragua, Honduras, Mexico, from all over. They're just not American expats. So we had a few years back, the American ambassador came out and had a town hall meeting. And they had a little room set up with a table and coffee and a table up in front for him and his wife to sit at. And more people kept coming, and they kept bringing in more and more chairs. They finally moved his table closer to the wall so they get another row of chairs in. Pretty soon, the standing room only in there. And the ambassador looked at me and he said, "Dusty," he says, "I didn't know there are this many expats living out here." I go, "Well, yeah, we got quite a few." He says, "How many expats live there, Dusty?" "Let me check with the American Embassy and I'll get back with you on that, Mr. Ambassador." he says, "We have no idea." And I said, "Yay, we succeeded."
That's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
That's
said,
exactly what you want.
We don't want to be under the watchful eye of the United States. And one of the reasons we came was to get away from Big Brother and all the regulations and controls. So it was okay. But there are, surprisingly, a good number of Americans. There's probably more Canadians than there are Americans. And there's a simple answer to why more Canadians. Canadians are more adventurous. Canadians don't go looking for, I've got to have the Johns Hopkins Hospital and the South Coast Mega Mall all within 5 minutes walking distance, but I don't want people around. I want quiet. No, you want that city life. Don't say you want to live away from it. But today has everything that Panama City has, without the noise, without the traffic, without the people, without the canal. That's over to Panama City, not down here. So we have everything.
So how about the shopping? Where do you have a shopping mall, shopping center?
We do have Mall Central, which is a mall. There is also another, it's bigger than a strip mall, and it's 2 stories. It's new across from our bus station. So there are plenty of stores to shop in. We have EP Furniture, which is one of the biggest furniture companies here in Panama. They have a store here in Chitre. The popular grocery store that's a block away from our house is Reba Smith. And when we first got here, everybody said Reba Smith was A, the health food store, because that's the only place you can go to buy health foods, and B, it was the gringo store because that's where you go to buy all the gringo food. Well, 10 years ago, that was probably true. Here in Chitre, we have more Panamanians shopping in Reba Smith than we do foreigners, because it is excellent quality of fresh fruits and vegetables. They do have imported stuff, which it costs more when you import stuff. I don't care if it's from the United States or from Europe. Imported food costs more. So you can have more expensive items. But otherwise, the cost of chicken, fresh chicken, the cost of hamburgers, the cost of vegetables, the cost of beer and sodas, it's the same as going to any of the other supermarkets. And Chitre is the only place in Panama that has every single supermarket that's in Panama City is also here in Chitre.
So what is a typical day in Chitre, Panama for Dusty and Carolyn Tubbs? What's a typical day, so that Offshore Club members know when they move to your neighborhood what they can look forward to?
Well, for me, it's not typical for an expat. I mean, I get up because of my diet. I don't eat it until my breakfast is 11:12, and then we have dinner 5:36. So it seems like I get up, make breakfast, eat dinner, and I'm going, what? It's time to go to bed. The day just flies by. I have a lot of projects I do here around the house. This week, we spent the week with the contractor redoing our roof because we had some leaks last year. So it's just one thing after another. I'm a writer, so I spend a lot of time writing. I publish a weekly newsletter. It's free. Anybody can sign up for it if they'd like to.
How do they sign up? Real quick, how do they sign up? Because I mentioned it earlier to folks that they need to get hold of it.
Go to dcglobalconsultingllc.com. That's D as in dog, C as in Charlie, globalconsultingllc.com, or send me an email. I think you have my email address. If you could post that. I cannot sign somebody up. Anti-spamming laws does not allow that. We use an online publisher, so people have to register there. And as soon as you register, you'll receive a verification email. Usually pops up in your junk emails.
There you go, folks. Right there.
Perfect.
Free every week. And it's a great newsletter. I read it, and it is a great newsletter, folks. Great information.
Thank you. And all the newsletter is we share our experiences and we share our adventures, and we talk about plan Bs, how to create wealth, how to preserve wealth, excellent opportunities that pop up on home buying. I believe you've even featured some of them on your show of Caribbean homes for under 100,000.
Yep.
So
yep.
All of this is in our weekly newsletter. Nothing political. I think the strongest thing I did was last week, as I made a comment about Russia's attack on the Ukraine, but it was just a short. My thoughts and prayers go to the Ukrainians, but it's not a political newsletter. I don't write Democrat or Republican. I'm not anti-American. I spent 30 years in the military. I love America. I don't like Americans very much, but I love America, and I do not like our politicians. But
no, I think, you know what? I think you can say we do not like the politicians without being political. What I think Mark Twain is the one who said that the politicians are America's only truly criminal class, which was very
yes.
Very well said. Very well said. So give us a little bit of an idea about how it feels to live in a country where you don't look like everybody else that lives there. You're not, I see this with my wife all the time. She's from Honduras, Dusty. And my wife looks like a Latina, beautiful Latina young lady. And you live in a country where some people would say you're an outsider, but are you really? How do you feel?
Well, I am treated like a Panamanian. I'm a permanent resident, so as far as the government and the people look at me, I'm Panamanian. I get asked all the time, well, you don't really blend in. Well, I don't care where I go. I go to California and I don't blend in. I always stand out. I always have. But on the other side of that, Carter, I don't care where I go around the world. I always fit in. And that's because I try to take the time to learn a little bit of the language, a little bit of the customs. I don't go, even when I was in the Navy, I didn't go where the sailors went on liberty. I went walking off back in the neighborhoods, and I had a ball. And I never once have felt out of place in a country. There are some countries I felt less comfortable in. Pakistan comes to mind. I don't care if I ever go back to Pakistan, but the Pakistanis don't even fit in Pakistan. So it's the world can be a rough place to live.
Yeah,
you experience that in the United States. Go to the homeless in LA. Go to Seattle. Go to Baltimore. Go to Detroit. I mean, when you talk about a third class world, wow. And I don't fit in there. I don't fit in with the aristocrats because I'm not a rich person. The Panamanians think I'm rich because I'm an American, so therefore I'm rich. But there are times we struggle like anybody else. But it was that working for financial freedom that finally sparked the interest in, well, why don't we do something entrepreneurially? And it was, okay, I'll write a newsletter. And my first thought was I wanted to try to reach out to the military and show them how they could come out of the military financially free. You don't have to be in debt. You don't have to be poor. And I don't care how long you spend in the service. But once I started the newsletter and then I started trying to figure out how to promote that, I found out that there's more millionaires out there in the service today. They've already figured out how to create that passive income. They didn't need my help in trying to do that.
Yep. And so we're almost out of time here, but what would you say to the average Joe out there in the U.S. who now is, I'm going to be honest, I said it earlier, I was talking about the inflation, the cost of living, everything we're faced with here in the U.S. now. What would you say to them in terms of escaping to Panama? What would be your recommendation?
Get on the next plane. Don't wait. The biggest problem I have seen in the 8 years I've been talking to expats about places to go. I'm very familiar with Panama. Obviously, I live here. We've been to Nicaragua. We've been to Belize. We've been to Colombia. We're working on our second citizenship in the Dominican Republic. So it's don't care. Find a place that you like and take action today. Don't wait until, I want to wait till I'm 65 or 70. No. Get your butt in gear now and do something now. One of the most treasured possessions we have is our passports. But sorry, you don't own the passport. The passport belongs to your government. And in the United States now, there is a subsection of the government that doesn't have to follow the laws as you and I know and have to, Carter. And that section of the government is called the IRS.
Absolutely.
They can revoke your passport. They can confiscate all of your money. You're at their mercy, and they don't have to prove you're guilty. You have to go and prove you're innocent. Yeah. So quit waiting. Take action. Go somewhere. Start your plan B. Get a residency to start with. People say, well, why aren't you getting your citizenship in Panama? Because Panama says I'm supposed to sign a letter saying I renounce all other citizenships. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to surrender my U.S. passport. I don't want to renounce my American citizenship. I just want to have a second one because that second passport is what truly gives us freedom. I can go anywhere and everywhere. And if the U.S. says they want theirs back, okay, I still have another passport I can go on.
Great.
And I'll probably start working on a third passport right away, too.
But the residency in Panama, you have residency, and it gives you all the rights you need to live well, right?
Yeah. It gives it, you're treated just like a citizen. You're able to, foreigners can buy and sell property. You can have a business under certain conditions. If you come down as a jubilado, which my wife and I did as a retiree, then people say, well, what do you do? I'm sorry, I can't work. You can't? Oh, what's wrong? I'm not allowed by the government. It's prohibited. I'm sorry. I want to work. I can't. Sorry. And that's because jubilados are not down here to work. They're down here to enjoy their retirement time. There are other programs that allow you to come down, and they can get you permanent residency. There's even a digital nomad visa that gets you in temporarily right now too. If you're just looking at staying for a year and a half or extend it out another 18 months, you can do 3 years on a digital nomad. But you do need a lawyer to get residency. I'm not going to try to tell you what a lawyer will cost because they vary. I'm not going to try to explain what a residency program will cost because those vary. You need to find the one that's right for you and apply for it and get the paperwork going.
But the bottom line is, once you get there, you are going to enjoy yourself. Maximum freedom, quality of life, right?
Panama has something for everybody. Panama is not for everybody, but there is something for everybody as long as it's not including snow or ice or freezing weather. All
right, Dusty, thank you very, very much. This has been great. And I have a feeling you may be getting some visitors down there from the Offshore Club. So thank you, sir, and some newsletter subscribers. Thanks for joining us. It's been fantastic.
Welcome to join you anytime. I'm glad
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. There you go. I told you he is a particularly delightful, ebullient, and effusive character. Get his newsletter, enjoy him, and we're going to have him on more because he's right there in Panama. It's the You Are There segment, which I get a lot of great notes from you all about, saying how much you enjoy it. And so that, we talk to people who actually live there because I know one of the great barriers, if you will, sometimes to making a big move, and I know moving offshore is a big move, is what are the people like? I don't know anybody. Now you know someone. Just like last week, you got to know Carla, also in Panama. Earlier, you got to know Roman down there in El Salvador. Wasn't he a great guy? And we started off with Giovanni in Nicaragua and my good friend Elisa Rodesno in Honduras. So we're really getting to know folks offshore now, aren't we? I want you, by the time you make your move, to say, I know those people, they're wonderful, because in fact they are. And we're going to continue to find out in the You Are There segments. And just to help you find the right home to move to down there. Now, let's do one of my favorite segments. I got to get a super producer, Gary. Let's get a theme song for this in the future. Okay, a theme song for this segment. The $1,000 Listing Caribbean. All right. This is where I have spent the week scanning the globe, or at least the Central and South America part of the globe, to find the best property deals for you in all of Latin America. Okay. When I say best, I mean wonderful homes at incredible prices. Okay. And today's, as I alluded to at the beginning of the show, is no exception. Because we're going to Uruguay, one of my favorite countries. And we're going to specifically, let me get the name right here, La Floresta, Uruguay, a beachfront community. So, super producer, before I start talking about the actual home, let's roll the video. absolutely gorgeous oceanfront community. Notice not crowded. You know, you're not like this sitting on the beach, you know, like you are in so many ocean resorts in the U.S. now. Plenty of room, plenty of walking room, unspoiled natural beauty. That is La Floresta, okay? That's where this home is. Vivian, okay? All right, look at that. I'm going to read you that little description in a minute. See that circle in red? That's the number to write down. Then you go to the little box in the upper right-hand corner when you go to vivian.com. There we go. Type in that number, and it'll take you right to this very home that we're going to talk about now, okay? Let me show you the home real quick, then we'll talk about it some. It's just a lovely, lovely, lovely little cottage by the beach. Okay, two bedroom. We'll get into it. Okay, lovely grounds, well kept. Okay, let me read you the description. Being sold by an individual, not a firm. You'll see, get all this contact information there. I'm selling my beautiful and cute year-round house, 5 minutes walking distance to a stunning beach in La Floresta. Okay, you've seen the beach now. It's stunning. It comes fully furnished and ready to move in. Safe and friendly neighborhood. It's Uruguay. You can't get much safer in Uruguay. I've owned it for 15 years and enjoyed many wonderful summers there. I'm selling it, this little gem, due to a lack of time these days traveling back and forth from Canada. He's Canadian to Uruguay. If I were him, I'd stay in Uruguay. This property has been professionally maintained and cared for and is in very good condition, as you're about to see. Again, here's where it is. Notice La Floresta. I mean, that's gorgeous, folks. 5 minutes from your front door. 5 minutes from your front door. Look at this. Reminds me of Ocean City when I was a kid. Remember, you're talking 60 years ago. Look at it. Walk right down to the beach. Got kind of a boardwalk there. So, you've seen the home. All right, let's look at some pictures of the home. Let's visit now. Let's visit. And again, folks, remember, I don't make a penny on these. This is absolutely a labor of love, okay? This is what I enjoy doing. I love finding these homes. Remember, one of them I showed you about 6 or 7 months ago. I bought. Oh, say, oh no, Carter's going to show us this house again. Yes, I am. In Honduras, La Ceiba Beach Club. Gorgeous home, guarded, gated community with gardeners. 2 bedroom. My front lawn is the beach. Out the back door's a swimming pool. I got that was $30,000. Okay, this one's a little more, but it's worth every penny of it. Here's the when you look out the front door. Look at that. Very, very, folks. That is so quaint. So quaint and gorgeous. And look at this. Want to look out the back door? Let's look out the back door. Man, this is just lovely. It is absolutely lovely. All right, let's say, okay, Carib Carter, take us inside. Living room. Fully furnished, folks. This home comes fully furnished. Everything. This is turnkey. Notice the fireplace. See there? Let me put my finger in the right spot. Okay. Yeah. See the fireplace there? There's a good reason for that. In the night, this time of year, gets down to around 40, 50 degrees. Light your fireplace. I love that. The best of both worlds. You get the beach. In the daytime, it's 70 to 80. At night, it drops. So you get the beach and you get sometimes that little feeling of fall that we all love. Yeah, this time of year. Bedroom. Nothing elaborate. This is a beautiful little 2-bedroom cottage, folks. Okay. Great for a getaway, great for a vacation. For someone like me, you know, great place to live. I love cozy homes. The kitchen. Again, I know some of you might be saying, that kitchen's kind of small. Yeah, well, big enough for the refrigerator, stove, and you know. And besides that, you're going to be doing a lot of your cooking outside. Look at this. Oh, you can see there. Look at that roast pig, I guess, whatever it is, on the outside fireplace. And remember what I always tell you, folks, when you move to Central or South America, you really live outside 80 to 90% of the time, okay? It's not like I'm here right now in York, Pennsylvania. You ain't living outside right now. Tomorrow, there's March. It's almost mid-March, and tomorrow we're going to get 4 inches of snow. So, no, down there, you're living outside. Here's what you're doing. You're cooking. Look at that. I love it. Up at my wife and I have vacation homes, a lot of you know, up in West Virginia, and we do almost all of our cooking outside up there. And just one more look out the front door. There you go. There's your neighborhood. There's the home. Look at that. Folks, that's good living. And the price, you ready? Total, his asking price total, $95,000. That's it. Folks, I'm telling you, a home like this, if you could find it in the U.S., 5 times that much. Remember, it's a 5-minute walk to one of the most gorgeous beaches in Uruguay, one of the most gorgeous in Central America. Okay, 5-minute walk. You're there. You're only a half an hour, by the way, from Montevideo, the capital. All right, I showed you that picture. You're 5 minutes from. And in Rome, there it is. There we go. 5 minutes from there, if you're like me and you like the cosmopolitan life sometime. 95. Yeah, 95,000. At least 5 times as much if you tried to buy it in the U.S. And you wouldn't have the safety, you wouldn't have the leisure, you wouldn't have the good quality of life you're going to have there. Just the enjoyment, just absolute enjoyment. Relax by the beach, cook out all year round, right there. Done. I'd offer 80, maybe a little less even. You know, somebody might say, well, if you're asking 95 and you're offering 80, that's $15,000 loss. Well, it's 85,000. It's 80,000 more than zero. I bet you go for it. I offered less for the one I bought. Where is it? Where's that picture again? There we go. Yeah. Now you have your own beach home. Okay, so there you go. There's your $1,000 listing, Caribbean. And that's a beauty, folks, in Uruguay. Honest to God, you can't beat Uruguay. It's Latino life with an Italian flavor. Okay, it's frioles and spaghetti. That's quite an incredible combination. Believe it or not, here in my home with my Honduran wife and me being half Italian, I've actually had that. It was pretty good. So there you got it all, folks. There you got it all. Check it out, vivion.com. Just type in a number in the little box in the upper right-hand corner. Call them. Nothing to lose and everything to gain. What you got to gain? The good life at a great price in the sun, sand, and surf of Uruguay. There you go. There you got it. And now, just to give you even more motivation to make that move, I want to show you a video that I absolutely love, okay? Because it has a theme that I have absolutely lived by for, let's see, I'm 75, probably since I was about, my mom and dad tell me about 5, all right? that is go for it. Go for it. Never give up. Decide what you want and go for it. You know, it was really kind of codified for me. I used to work for a guy named Mike Lasky, who had Mike Warren Sports, okay? He was the most charismatic human being God ever created. He took, Mike Warren Sports was handicapping, sports handicapping. When we started out, you had Lemon Drop Kids selling tip sheets at Pimlico for $2. And Mike did a $20 million business he built. He was an incredible marketing genius. He used to tell me he was from Bensonhurst, right? Hey, remember now. I want you to remember this, Carter. You got to step up to the plate. You got to take your best shot, and you got to stay in the game. Okay? It's great advice. Step up to the plate. Take your best shot. Stay in the game. That's what this video is all about. Let's roll it, Gary.
Michael Jordan said in one of his interviews, when they said, "You're unbelievable, you're the greatest basketball player of all times," tell me about that. And he says, well, you're just mentioning the successes. But he says, for me to become the greatest basketball player, I missed 9,000 shots when I was playing basketball at the NBA games. Does it make him a failure? No. We all fail. It's okay. What is not okay is that when you fail, you stay down. Whoever stays down is a loser. And winners will fail and get up. Fail and get up. Fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner.
I can accept failure. Everyone fails at some point. I cannot accept not trying. It is your losses that will humble you. It is your losses that will give you a drive. It is your losses that will allow you not to make the same mistake over and over again. You are not your past. You can't be mad when somebody's pursuing the crisis that you're running from. You ain't mad about that, but you mad about the reward because you knew it should have been yours. That was your reward, but because you was afraid to do the work, because you were afraid of the crisis. Now somebody else got your reward. Stop running from it and run to it. Stop telling me what you're going through. The greats, they get to it, they go through it. And the harder it is, the better.
If you lose your job, if you go through a divorce, if you're coming back from addiction, if you're coming back from failure after failure after failure and disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, you must know within yourself, there must be a deep inner knowing of your true identity. You got to know you are a winner. You were born to win. It is your right to win. It is your right to have your dream. You don't get these ideas unless you also have the capacity to make it happen. Give yourself a fighting chance. Whatever you go after, whatever you say, if this is your stuff, pursue it passionately. Let there be a deep hunger in you that you won't be denied. And that when things happen, that they won't immobilize you. They won't deplete your energy. Something as powerful as you cannot be contained and stopped. Temporarily delayed, yes, but stop, no.
You gotta learn how to take your pain and let your pain push you to greatness. You gotta learn how not to give up or how not to give in. And you gotta understand that greatness is within you and you gotta pull it out. You gotta climb every mountain. You gotta pick up all the weight. You gotta cry if you got to, but whatever you do, you cannot give up. You cannot give in. And if you give up and give in, you will never experience greatness. So keep going. Nobody ever said it would be easy. But I know greatness is within you and you got what it takes. So get up and let's make it happen.
So there you have it, folks. There you have it. I really have. I don't have a lot more to say about it. It's so good. But I will say this. There are three concepts I live by. Never give up, never give in, and never give out. How does that apply to moving offshore? You do all three, and you are going to join me here. Okay, by the way, this is from the front porch next door. This is fishing in the beach in front of my home. Or you're going to join me here. I'll just bet you. I'll just bet you. Because no matter what, if somebody tries to discourage you, if you have to work hard to do it, commitment, never give up, never give out, never give in. Folks, as I say every week, let's do this thing.